Hi, this is John Sauve, and welcome to Art and Design. Today, my guest is Samara Johnson Furlong. Samara, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, John.
uh, Samara, I mean, we've talked in the past, and you've had several different careers in the art world, but now you've opened up Buffalo Prescott. How did that all come about?
Well, it's kind of everything I've been working towards my whole life. I moved back from New York during the pandemic and was doing research at the DIA. And then I had a daughter, she's 2 now, and I really wanted to create something that supported artists that are parents and gave me flexibility to have work-life balance. And I noticed that that's really something that's important in our community and lives. And so I curated an event in February, and then there was an artist talk the next day, and I realized the need for affordable studio space in Detroit, as well as um, sorry, my daughter's downstairs, as well as you know, sorry, I thought they were in another room.
Oh, no, I get it.
And so yeah, I wanted to create something that would support these artists and give them studio space, as well as provide programming in the Detroit area and elsewhere, giving Detroit artists a platform and bringing them to the rest of the world, while bringing the rest of the world to Detroit, and really filling the gaps that I've noticed in the community and collaborating with others.
And so, how did Buffalo Prescott get its name?
So Buffalo Prescott is the street corners that the studio space is located on. The studio is artist Chris Shank's former studio. He is a Cranbrook graduate and makes this incredible furniture and other pieces of art. And we became friends. And he came over after the event that was in February. He came over in March, and he told me that he was leasing his studio space, and it is such a fantastic building in a neighborhood. There's a school bus that gets out on the corner, and kids come out, and it's located right between Hamtramck and Detroit. So there's a really nice community there. And it's perfect. We put 5 studios in there, and so it's incorporated as a foundation nonprofit, and it's fun because in 50 years people will say, oh, why is it called Buffalo Prescott? And it will always be that location that the studios were first located.
So, can you describe the space over there? You
Definitely.
mentioned, 5 studios, and what can people expect when they come over?
So there's a beautiful backyard that you notice when you first come in, and we have our vinyl on the windows, which is this fun breakout pattern that we had designed. And when you enter the building, the first large space has 2 studios. Each of the studios are around 200 square feet, and they're museum quality drywall, and they have lots of beautiful light. There's glass brick and full frame windows. And the beautiful doors were built by Tony, he's our permanent resident, one of Chris's former assistants. And they were designed and built in-house. And all the studio doors have locks so that the artists can access them 24/7. And then in the second room, there are the 3 other studios and Tony's studio and a little kitchen. And then we have a lounge area with some funky furniture and a photography wall. And that's where we'll have our artist talks and gatherings that will all be filmed and available on the website so that they are available for the rest of the community.
Now, you just had an event, I think this past weekend, right? What did that entail?
Well, we had our launch on September 14th, and it was a pancake brunch, which is something that I've always said I'd rather have a pancake brunch than a black tie gala that you have to get a sitter for, because I wanted my daughter to be able to enjoy it she had the best day. We had pancakes and sprinkles and all of the toppings and friendship bracelet making. And we have a spray booth where you can spray paint tote bags with the Buffalo Prescott stencil. And we had paper on the tables so that you could draw and, feel like one of the artists. And then the studios were open. And so that was a really big success. It brought the community together and it made it feel real because three of the artists have been in there since May, but the other two just moved in. So all five are now on site, and it was it was a really great launch. And then last weekend, we had a costume making workshop for the Hamtramck Monster Parade, which is this Saturday. And it was fun for all ages. And it was really special to see the community come together and share materials and ideas. And there was a fully functioning 3 foot wide owl head that the eyes open, and it was beyond normal costume making. And so it's really fun to be able to do things on a community level, but also bring institutional level workshops and artist talks to the space and make those accessible to the community as well, which we have coming up this weekend.
Oh, well, we can put a plug in for that.
Yeah.
What does that entail?
So this weekend is kind of a passing of the baton. On Saturday at noon, we have Jack Craig, who has a current show downtown at David Klein Gallery and is a fantastic designer and metalsmith. And it's also with Chris Schenk. And so I will moderate it, and they're going to have a casual conversation, artist to artist, and be able to discuss things that they otherwise wouldn't be given the opportunity. And it's just a really nice way to have the space pass from being Chris's studio to now the current artists. And then the following weekend, we have curator and collector Barb Levine. She is a Detroit native, but actually hasn't been back since she was 17. And her partner have the largest collection of vernacular photography. And she was a curator at San Francisco MoMA. And they're going to be bringing a traveling circus, you might say, of photography ephemera to teach the history of photography. And then they'll also be doing studio visits and a professional development seminar with the artists in residence.
And all of this takes place this coming Saturday. Is that what you're saying?
The 5th is Jack Craig and Chris Schenk, and then the 12th is Barb Levine, which is both are open to the public.
And again, how do people get a hold of you?
We have buffaloprescott.org is our website. We have Buffalo Prescott on Instagram. Our phone numbers are available, and those are the main channels. Info at buffaloprescott.org is also a great way.
All right. Yeah. Got to make sure people can find you. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah.
Now, Samara, I know that the impetus for this was you personally have with your family, a young family, and you were sympathetic to artists trying to make their craft that also have young families. What kind of outreach or downline outside of the actual studio space of Buffalo Prescott do you have planned? So, meaning like if you got 5 artists in there, are there shows off-site that are planned in the future as well?
Mm-hmm. We will be doing programming off-site. There's a show this November in New York, and then hopefully at the end of the year, another show with all of the residents in New York. Our first program was Casual Safe, which brings a cool factor to safety. It launched during Movement Weekend in Detroit, and we had artist Shayna Castellan develop the wraps for safe sex, safe use, and Narcan kits, which is used for opioid overdose. And those kits they were witness saving 4 lives during the after parties of Movement Weekend, and they will be distributed at Art Basel in Miami in December. And we'll be doing a talk at NADA. So it's exciting to bring Detroit and Buffalo Prescott and our artists and our partner, Detroit Recovery Project, to Miami for that influential and international week. And later that month in Detroit, we'll be launching our first 2 vending machines. So the plan is to have multiple vending machines throughout the city that artists will wrap, the first being Shayna Castellan, one of our residents. And so they'll be fun looking artistic vending machines with free safe sex, safe use. So that means fentanyl, GHB testing, condoms, Narcan, so that people are able to help themselves and feel good about it and feel good about making safety accessible. And so those will launch in Detroit in December. And we hope to have more partners to bring more of the vending machines to the city. And artists will continue to make wraps for them, and we'll sell inexpensive prints inside and fine art prints to help fund the project. So that's an example of how Buffalo Prescott and the Detroit artists are reaching a wider level. And in terms of supporting artists that are parents, 2 of the current residents have 3-year-olds. And I've been in conversation with other artists and curators in the area that a lot of us have children. And we're really interested in forming an art moms and art dads, art parents. We're still in the works because we all need to get together and just, getting together and sharing what it's like to be working parents and artists, and to have our kids all meet each other and have a nice time. And then I'm also really interested in birth justice and pelvic floor therapy. We trying to work on getting pelvic floor therapy in the local hospitals before you leave after giving birth. And so there are just ways in the local community supporting mind body experiences, and not just making art, but really looking at what it means to be a woman and a mother and functioning in society, and kind of just sharing the knowledge that we've learned and growing together as people.
Well, Samara, as a young mother yourself, and I know we had a conversation about having this very interview, you had to bow out of driving your daughter to school this morning. And I appreciate that you took the time to do that. But what I find fascinating is you analyze your own situation and say, hey, there's a need. And there's a need for others that are in my current situation. And then you create this experience where others can share ideas and share their experiences and support each other. And when did this all come to you?
Well, it was really, when my daughter was about a year and a half, and I was able to kind of map out exactly what I wanted to do and know that I couldn't go the more traditional route, and I needed something I needed to create something that would also be able to support others. And yeah, so it was really just, it's kind of like write what you know. And if most of my brain was occupied with my daughter, I couldn't just be somewhere that didn't have her in mind. And I know that a lot of other people feel the same way. So if I'm lucky enough to be able to create something like that, I want to be able to share it with others and allow them to have that space as well.
Well, and she's going to have a great time at Art Basel this year, of course, right?
Yeah.
And so you're actually going to be speaking at Art Basel in December.
Yes, it will either be me. It will definitely be Shayna Castellan and someone from Detroit Recovery Project, and we're going to have a panel on that Thursday. And so, yeah, it'll be exciting for all of us to be a part of. It's going to be NADA, which is New Art Dealers. It's an organization that we are proud members of, and that is also, they have a space in New York, and that's where Sedona Cohen's show will be in November.
That is perfect. And then The other thing is I noticed you're curating as well, right?
Mhm.
Currently, on top of Buffalo Prescott, you're curating shows all over the place.
Yep. I have a background in curatorial research, and that passion is still in me. And so when I have the opportunity to put shows together, it's nice to be able to flex those muscles. And it will be Sedona's first solo show. So it's really exciting to bring her work to New York. She had a piece in a gallery group show in New York over the summer, and she was a part of the show Divine Wisdom in February, which was at the Jam Handy in Detroit.
Now, the is there a time frame for Buffalo Prescott with the current residents, or is this long term, as long as needed?
We're still trying to figure that out. And the great thing about this is that it offers both us and the residents the ability to dream in real time. And I was doing interviews at the beginning and saying that it was a year-long residency, and it just didn't feel right. And this whole thing has been based off of feeling, and it's been very intuitive. So I listened to that and I realized that it should be longer term. So we're thinking 18 months right now. And it really serves as a safety net for these artists, especially this cohort recently graduating from getting their master's degrees, and then a launch pad for the next phase of their career, which could come in 6 months or a year. So if they have an opportunity elsewhere, they are fully able to leave before 18 months. But it offers them the ability to have studio visits and a critique environment and utilize the network that I have built and be able to work together to continue to grow as artists and people.
Well, it is a great opportunity. And like you said, these are people that are juggling a lot of things in their personal lives as well as their professional life. And just the experience that you're providing them alone at Buffalo Prescott to help develop careers, make connections, and really develop a path for the future of their artwork. Uh, I commend you on the support and the guidance that you're providing for people. And also, I love that you carved out your own space for your own situation as well. It's fantastic. I love it.
Thank you.
Now, Samara, I mean, have you delved into your own artwork as well?
Well, recently I have been doing a lot of crafts with my daughter, and so that's been my artistic practice. But eventually I'd like to put a dark room at Buffalo Prescott and get back into photography. And it's really, I think having a child allows you to be more playful and reach a new area of your craft. And so I'm excited to see where that goes.
Samara, are you saying that having a child changes your life in ways that you couldn't expect?
Oh, definitely. More than I could ever imagine, but in the best way possible.
Hmm. And your daughter's got all these new experiences. I mean, it's a win-win-win on every situation. You're providing her with opportunities too, and experiences that you wouldn't be able to have, and to be able to share those with her. I know you're living it every day, so I think it's a great thing. So
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
now, Buffalo Prescott. I mean, you mentioned they're a part of NADA, but what are you doing for outreach in the city of Detroit? I know you've had some talks. You've had talks and upcoming talks that are doing outreach for the city. Do you have other plans as well?
So the Detroit Recovery Project is our main partner right now on Casual Safe, which is the program that I was discussing before. Um, we really partner with as many people in the community as we can. I work closely with the Detroit Institute of Arts and Cranbrook, and so being able to collaborate with them, um, Kelly Kivland, who I worked with at Dia Art Foundation in New York, is now the curator of Michigan Central. So forming partnerships with peers and other organizations in the area allows for the residents to get a wider view. And then Detroit is small, but it's very spread out. So part of the goal is to kind of bring everybody in Detroit's cultural scene together so that we can be the best that we can be. And then also partner with the community and other organizations that are trying to do similar things so that we reach the most people. So that even means, at the launch we had Samara, which is a fun company. They gave some drinks, and partnering with restaurants to help get us some halal sausage for the pancakes. And we partnering with the community, and there's Arts and Scraps and the Fiber Club. There's all of these great organizations that are making art and craft making accessible and allowing people in the community to be artists, even if they don't consider themselves artists. And then the lectures that we'll have bring institutional level talks to a community space, making it so that you don't have to go to grad school to access this information. And we're also looking to partner with Detroit Public Schools, whether it's for workshops on site for the students or talks that we partner with other institutions for, so that they are able to continue to learn and possibly meet their heroes in the art world.
Samara, I think it's amazing what you have going on. One last thing, how would you invite people to Buffalo Prescott? What would you say to them to come over and visit and find out more about what you do?
We are excited to have anybody that wants to come check out the space, especially during our events. The easiest way to find those is on our Instagram, Buffalo Prescott, and our website, buffaloprescott.org. We'd love to set up meetings with you and come to you if you think that you'd be interested in partnering or talking about Detroit's cultural scene.
Samara, I am so happy to have you here. Excited, especially to find out what you've been up to with Buffalo Prescott and all the opportunities that you're providing, not only the residents, but also the neighborhood in which Buffalo Prescott exists. You're doing an amazing job with outreach. I love your approach with pancake breakfast as opposed to black tie galas, where you really include the neighborhood and also really taking care of the population you're looking for, young families that are trying to work in the arts. And I know you're a wealth of information just from your own personal experience and your ability and willingness to share that with other people. I commend you on what you have going on there. And I'm really excited that you're on Art and Design today. Thanks for taking the time with me. I know you missed the ride to school today, especially for this. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll be right there. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Samara.